3 album run like that, my opinion. What was your
That was
whole
a
question
great
though? Was
three
you
hours.
about to call Tupac regional? I didn't hear the whole statement.
No, this okay. So you my unbiased opinion, because like I said earlier, at one point Tupac was my favorite, was my number one, and Nas was number two up until maybe around like 10th, 11th grade.
But
So
what year was Pac
What
already
year was
dead?
that? Not to ask your age, but what year was that?
I was like seven. No,
What year?
7 in 10.
96. Pac died in 96. No, I'm saying he was my number one.
No, that's what I'm saying. How? What was he alive when you switched to a Nas form?
No, Pac died when I was like 7 years old.
But see, I started listening to Nas back in like
He
'93.
would have
I
still
think is
been
when I first
alive.
started hearing
I
Nas.
was
Still
five,
doing shit. He would have
four.
still been. You feel me? If
You said
Pac was,
what?
I said, just imagine if he would have still been alive, because he was at the top of his game when he died. You know what I'm saying? So imagine if he was still alive. Like I just now became. I ain't gonna say just now, but past 2 3 years became a Migo fan. So I just got to the point where I'm looking forward to what they do next. So in a few years, I might say that one of the two that's still living is my favorite. But if
You
motherfucker,
really think Pac was at the height of his game? Man, could you imagine what happened over the next 10 years in like just in the United States, just in general? Could you imagine some of the movements that Tupac would have been a part of over the past 5 years
I don't
if he
think,
was still around?
and I'm gonna tell y'all why. So Marcus, because no, Marcus was asking me what I was gonna say.
Yeah, I
Marcus, are
didn't
you
hear the whole
listening?
statement. Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, so I'm not just talking about the music. I'm about to get into the industry. Period. Pac was so if you as Tupac fans, you can listen to like Tupacalypse Now, and then you can kind of see the evolution from Tupacalypse Now, Thug Strictly what was it? Strictly for My Niggas Thug Life. And then you
Hmm.
have your Me Against the World, Your Eyes on Me. You kind of see how he, excuse me, made that shift when he got with Death Row.
Correct.
Tupac was so ride or die Death Row to the point where like Snoop was like, I'm out. Dre was like, kiss my ass. Everybody that they pretty much brought to Death Row. And then you have like those artists like Michelle and what's the other one? The other lady that sang
Lady of Rage,
Jewel,
Joelle,
huh?
you had cut
Jewel,
out.
that's her name, right?
Yeah,
she talking about
that
Jewel,
just passed.
Michelle, you have Jewel.
rest in peace.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Jewel did pass away recently. Yeah. So you have these other artists. So you have like, okay, you have like your Snoop, your Dre, your Pac. That's like at the top of the pyramid, right? And then you got like you got the Dog Pound. You got, you know what I'm saying? Like you have like those mid-tier rappers where you fuck with them, but you really fuck with the people who put them on. And then you got like Michelet, you got Joel, who you're never gonna hear them unless you're hearing them as a featured artist on a Death Row artist track, right? So look, you got Dre who was like, fuck you, should kiss my ass. And you got Snoop who was like, I'm out this bitch. And then you got the people that put him on, they was like, shit, my people out, I'm out too. And then you got like Michelle and like Joel who just kind of got lost in the matrix because they don't know anything Death Row for real. Pac was so ride or die Death Row, and think about it, like even how he switched up his style once he got with Death Row. Tupac was a Panther. He was the son of two Panthers. He was a militant rapper, and he became a whole motherfucking West Coast. But Tupac is from New York and Baltimore. He became a whole West Coast ass gangster once he got with Suge. And he owed Suge because Suge got him out of prison, whatever, did what he had to do. And he really, really popped off. Like he was at his pinnacle with Death Row, correct? But he was so ride or die, gung ho Death Row that when Suge fell from glory, Pac was probably gonna fall with him. So
I think it was going to take it over. I think that was his whole point. I don't think that Tupac ever had an inclination to stand or Suge. I think his whole entire plan, I think his whole thing, because look, he got the other top artists that could never really fuck with Suge. Suge was making money off of the other guy.
Right.
Okay? Now you have Suge fallen. I think the next step for Tupac would have been to take over that entire corporation. That I think would have been the only option for him to advance any further than that.
I think he probably would have been better off doing his own thing. And like they were talking about Death Row East and everything, because Death Row had so many issues and Suge had so many issues at that point that I personally would have broken off. But then again, for his legacy and for his music, I personally think that his untimely passing elevated him.
Well,
I don't think that he would have. I think that we would have looked back on Pac as like one of the greats, but I also think we would look back at Pac like, well, like, okay, so Snoop branched out, Dre branched out, Pac was doing his acting thing or whatever, but I don't think that. I don't know.
My unbiased opinion, he was still bigger than Nas before he died.
I'm not even talking about Nas. I'm not.
Ted, I can barely hear you, bud.
Biggie. You can. They both passed, right? And that's why I think so many people compare them because they both.
Hold on, wait a minute, Shyne. Like Biggie made 2 albums. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not supposed to be able to. Like Biggie was nasty. Don't get it. Like talent wise, yeah, they're in comparison. But like what?
He was nasty.
But what they did, like Tupac. It's 2 things I want to speak on. Like, one, he really got his break on the West Coast with the Digital Underground. You know what I'm saying? Them motherfuckers from Oakland. You know what I'm saying? So when if anybody wanted to claim Pac, the West Coast could probably claim him first because they the one that broke him. You know what I'm saying? That's that gave him.
But he wasn't repping the West Coast like that when he was fucking with Digital Underground either. He really didn't start repping the West Side till he got with Suge.
Hold up, though.
What I'm saying?
Hold up. Let me hold up. I got you. Hold on. So I just got to take it back because look, everybody act like Pac got to Death Row and switched up. That's not what happened. Yes, Pac was.
Nah, he was always crazy.
And then he moved to Baltimore. That's how he knew Jada and all that. After Baltimore, before he made his money, he was in the Bay, in the hood, and there was some shit going down. When Pac got on, he was doing his rap thing. Y'all forget, before Pac got to Death Row, he had already shot the cops. Pac they had some issues with Mac Drake clique, the Romper Room. When motherfucking, before he got on Death Row, he wasn't hyped up because he got to Death Row. He was hyped up because he had got shot. So I don't know if I ain't never been shot, but I've been shot at. I don't know if somebody ever tried to harm y'all. The mind state that's going to put you in is going to be a different mind state. All that shit, he got shot up, he got set up, went to jail, all of that shit. Suge and
but what I was going to say is I think Pac was different in the sense of his work ethic.
You cut out. I can't
my bad. You can hear me now? I think Pac, what separated Pac from a lot of people was his work ethic. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if he felt like he was already on borrowed time, so he was just going into overdrive and putting out, crazy amounts of songs. But that's what separates him from like Biggie, in my opinion, his catalog. Cause you know what I'm saying? I'm sure Biggie got some unreleased music, but like we know for a fact, like bro, this man Pac probably got 300 songs niggas ain't heard. You know what I'm saying? Like people ain't heard. Like I know Ice Cube said he got like 3 or 4 songs with Pac he ain't gonna never put out. I think would he be as big if he hadn't died is a good question. But he was such a polarizing figure, good, bad, or indifferent. With the way media started moving, it would only, you know what I'm saying, it will only just make him a bigger star. because he was gonna say something that was gonna tip the scale. You know what I'm saying? One way or the other, good, bad, or indifferent. So I think because
He'd definitely be like Snoop and
right,
Dre and
so
them.
I think
He'd definitely be a household.
so I think him being so polarizing is what made him him, and the fact that even after his death, you had like people actually spinning out renditions of him, like 50 Cent, Ja Rule, them all like slick spin-offs. Or even the fact, like you think about rappers prior to Tupac, like, yeah, tattoos was a thing, and it ain't like Pac was tatted up like that in today's, in today's comparisons, but like, yo, getting shot, he made getting shot fashionable. You know what I'm saying? Like, how could you make getting shot fashionable? You know what I'm saying? And it ain't like he had the line, nah, some got five. He was saying like, nah, I think he like me. He got shot 5 times. Like, nah, bro, you ain't like me, my boy. Like, he was really kicking shit in a different manner, and
Talking
he was so young. Like, bro,
And then throw
right. You know what I'm saying? Spitting at the police. Like, yo, bro, I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. In Stone Mountain, Georgia, it's a statue of Tupac. Why? Only thing Pac did down there was shoot the police. And they put a statue up of this motherfucker, man. You understand? That's
and they
don't look,
like
but we know who the fuck it is, though. That's Pac. You understand? That's Pac. So I think he was just a real influential figure. Like I said, good, bad, and indifferent. Because some of the shit he said was troublesome, and some of the shit he said was, positive. But I think, like, on top of what Ted Luck was saying, when you get shot and you young, you don't know, and you got cameras and shit in your face, motherfuckers saying you raping people, like, you don't know what to think and how to feel. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even as a grown man in my 30s, I probably would, you know what I'm saying? You stick a camera in my face, I had all that shit going on. Yeah, I'm probably going to spit at that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm probably going to be ill or irritable when I see some shit. Like, but I think it's hard to say Pac belonged to anybody. That's another thing with him. Like, he's damn near like a universal remote. Like, the West claim him. Motherfuckers from New York mad that he went over there. Then motherfuckers from Baltimore like, what about us? Like, yo, bro's really from everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the way he kicked shit was, it ain't gonna never be another one like that. Like, it's even like, I want to say something about that Nas and Jay-Z conversation. I know I'm backtracking. Like, I feel like people look at it fucked up. Because when Nas dropped, motherfuckers was checking for Nas and weren't really checking for Biggie. Nas was the king of New York. He the one who sound like.
you there? That
we all looking like this.
man,
He
I
was saying shit. He just
He just disappeared real quick.
like, wait,
so
come back. You weren't finished.
right. He was going,
That was good though.
but
That was good.
I feel everybody's point, but I don't know. I'm a big Pac fan though. You know, I ain't put my top 5 up yet. I'm about to. He's in my top 5, but I feel like sometimes people look at him a certain way because he ain't the same all the time. But how many?
Yeah, I definitely flip floppy.
But think though. Think of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Nobody is the same all the time. And then think about extreme situations. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know. Like the good shit is like when ain't nothing going bad. That's how people was thinking of him before. That's just how they were thinking of him with every. You can't judge somebody based on if like I know some people that I only see on vacation. I'm on vacation, they're on vacation at the same time. I know you but only when we having a good time. I don't know how you is when the shit don't go the right way or it's a bad day. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it don't mean that you're a different person for the different situation. You know what I'm saying? If you look at the two
Yeah.
story, all that shit that happened, he had a reason to be pissed off. That Quad Studio shit, Haitian Jack, Puffy and him, all of that shit was weird. And then he said on Machiavelli, He rapped about it. I'm not. It might not be. I don't know. I was a little kid in Portland. I don't know if it was a conspiracy or not, but the shit was just weird how everything happened to him. So I feel like I could understand how this young man who's only 23, 24, 25, you know what I'm saying, that gets so upset, and it's like even if he's a Panther, you know what I'm saying. I know preachers' kids that went all the way this way, but and I
Oh
know
yeah.
prostitute kids that went this way. You
Preacher's
know what
kids
I'm
be the
saying?
main ones going all the way this way.
Look, one of my favorite preachers. I ain't gonna say his name because I don't know who I'm watching. One of my favorite preachers in Portland, right? He was cool. When I was about 13, my brother already told a story I'm gonna say. My aunt had us a painting job. We was telling stories about this preacher, but he's a cool motherfucker though. He's clean as shit. Go up there, he got a little 5-year-old daughter. It's preacher man. And he drinking a drink, smoking a cigarette. He said, "Hey man, I'm," said his name. "Whatever you heard about me is probably true." You know what I'm saying? My my favorite part, church service when I used to go to church, was the testimony, because that's when the sister and the deacon tell, like on Sunday they singing the praise and the good Lord bless you, but then they tell you where they been. Like we don't like the Panthers wasn't no soft motherfuckers. You know what
I
I'm saying?
know.
So it's like I don't know. Like I feel like everybody got they vision of motherfuckers, but you don't know. Everybody don't know what
None of us were there.
crazy.
Let's be honest. None of us were
That's a
there.
You
fact.
know what I'm saying? So it's like, but I don't know. That's what, but I like Biggie and shit too though. But Pac one of my top five though. You know what I'm
One of
saying?
my
Well, Pac,
favorite
you
pop
know,
songs
Pac,
is actually a Nas diss. Don't tell anybody. Who
Your
watching?
favorite Pac song was a Nas diss?
who watching?
One of a,
Start blocking. Start blocking people right now.
one of my favorite Pac. Because wait, can't you see in the corner how many people are in the audience?
Man,
It'll
it
say
just
like
showed me.
audience member or something.
It don't. It just showed me who on here, but it
Oh,
don't.
when
Man.
somebody pops on, it says audience sometimes, and it shows how many people. But yeah, no, one of my favorite Pac songs is he's definitely dissing Nas. Bomb first,
Oh yeah, I
bomb
like.
first is
All
my
right.
shit.
I
I
like
went.
Against All Odds.
You said what?
He likes
Against All
against all
Odds.
odds.
Against odds is
God,
dope.
nah. God don't like the ugly. It was written. See, Nas, your whole damn style was bitten. That shit was hard.
Let's not rehash this.
All right. I think we got Michael Jackson coming up, Ted.
Y'all want Michael Jackson?
Cue the MJ. Cue the MJ.
Cue the
Cue
MJ.
we
Y'all
cue damn human nature.
let me find it. Let me find it.
I was kidding, not human nature. Play some bomb ass Michael
That's
Jackson.
actually my favorite MJ song, but I had another song already up here though. Damn, and did I?
Next week we got to discuss Michael Jackson and his Quincy Jones run versus Jackson and his Teddy Riley phase
Oh
versus
God.
Michael.
The Jackson Five. You got to add the
You got
Jackson
to add
Five
the
in there.
Jackson 5. Early Jackson 5, one of my favorite Jackson 5 songs is actually wasn't one of their more well-known songs. And then you have the Jackson 5 versus the Jacksons. So when he was a teenager, they were just the Jacksons.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, because by that point, didn't once Janet was not really much a part of the group at that point, if I remember correctly.
Janet wasn't part of the group with Jackson 5, it was all the boys.
No, I thought, what was the point? Because Janet started singing with the boys at one point throughout the early 80s.
The Jacksons this was like mid 70s before like Off the Wall.